Good evening. It's April 15th, 2025, Tuesday of Lent, and Tuesday of Holy Week, I should say. And it's our pleasure and honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
I see you got a haircut, a shave, your nails you'll get done tomorrow. You're looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, pretty sharp, huh? Yeah.
Nice clothes on. Are you warm enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I also heard you had a special visitor today.
Oh, yeah, well, she was sick, though.
She's feeling better. Amber Nicole Jeckovich is Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter, full-time missionary, full-time surfer.
Yeah.
And she comes, like, when she's in the States, 4 or 5 times a week. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how kind a person could be when they're Christocentric and not ego-eccentric. She's a fine girl. She's on her way to Bible studies now.
Yeah, she is cool, yeah.
So you always enjoy seeing her?
Huh?
You always enjoy
Oh, yeah.
Do you two ever read the Bible together?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. Speaking of long books, how many pages is your book?
8,449.
Wow. That's a long-ass book. Wow. That's a long book. Okay, we're on the second time around. We're on chapter 4. And we're speaking about Mr. Jeckovich's passes to Owensboro, Kentucky. This is where he met a fine girl named Ann Mahaney. And he's just starting to get to know her. I'll need your dog tag number.
42965.
Okay, that's the password for the laptop. The Saturday morning inspection went without a hitch, as did the parade. Did you have a parade every weekend?
Yeah.
Did you like the parades?
It's Saturday morning, yeah.
You like the parades?
I like the band and everything, yeah.
Wow. And everyone was in step?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And all that was left to do is see my name appear on a weekend pass list, which usually posted while we're at the parade ground. So when you're at the parade, the T5 Eckert posts who could get a weekend pass.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see what happens. Sure enough, TK Eckert came through for me. I was on the pass list and could pick up my pass at noon. Larson came over to visit for a while and hinted around that he wanted me to go with him the pass to Evansville. You'd rather go to Owensboro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I reiterated that I had made previous plans for the weekend and that perhaps we could get together at a later date. He agreed rather grudgingly. I could see that he was disappointed at my response and left after a few minutes. Ever since that little episode, Larson was never again friendly.
Yeah.
So he just shut you off, right?
Yeah.
Or open with me, and his reaction did not disturb me in the least. I did not want I did not want to get close to either one of them, and this presented the perfect avenue to rid myself of their presence, because they were just basically drinkers, smokers, right? As the bus drove around towards Owensboro, I wonder how Ann would look and act. So Ann's going to pick you up at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that be a magnetic attraction that we both felt so strongly for one another still be there? Or would it be just a regular meeting? I did not see her anywhere in sight as the bus drove up to the station. It was only when I got off the bus I saw her walking towards me. She looked stunning and I wanted to embrace and kiss her. Instead, I took her outstretched hands and grasped both of them. I smiled and said how glad I was to see her, and that I missed her and could not wait to be here. She smiled an enticing smile, took my arm, and walked to the car. Did you drive the car or her?
Her, she drove her car.
Okay, okay. We sat there momentarily, just looking at one another, and finally I asked if she had any plans for the day. She thought it'd be nice if we'd go somewhere to have dinner, and I was in agreement with whatever she suggested. We went to a restaurant called Trotter's. Do you remember Trotter's?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a nice place?
Oh, that was a nice place, yeah.
Yeah. White tablecloths?
Yeah.
Yeah. A short distance down Highway 431, which specialized in prime rib and seafood. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The place was elegant, with a decor resembling racetrack trotting theme. I guess Kentucky Derby, right?
Yeah.
Big horse country. Somewhat after the fashion of the Kentucky Derby. The food was delicious and the atmosphere was first rate, but it could not compare to the company I was with. Annie was beautiful with her shoulder-length blonde hair, exquisite, deep, penetrating blue eyes, and her angelic-like facial features. I felt great just being with her, and I wanted to tell her so. During dinner, she told me a little about her schoolwork, and that it was difficult keeping up a full-time job and attending school full-time at night. And despite the tremendous workload, she managed to maintain a 3.7 average in school, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Really good. I thought that was great and admired her for her scholastic achievement, as well as her tenacity to accomplish what she set out to do. A small band was playing in the background, and I asked her if she'd care to dance, warning her that I was not a great dancer. As I held her close to me, we danced. I was intoxicated with the perfume she was wearing, and remarked that it was a perfect companion to her attractiveness and charm. Wow. Oh, by the way, we're on page 83. She moved graciously and danced, and I felt even more attracted towards her. We stayed at Trotter's for several hours, just talking, dancing, and enjoying one another's company. As we drove out of the parking lot, the sight of my gym bag brought me back to realization that I had no place to sleep that night. So you forgot to even get a room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remarked to Ann that we should stop at the St. Paul's Episcopal Church on Griffith Avenue to reserve a cot in case they were crowded. Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing you thought of that. She suggested that we go to a bed. She suggested that we go to a bed and breakfast, which was just a mile or so of US 60 bypass. Ann went in with me, and the proprietor recalled her from the last time she was there with some of her relatives. As it turned out, the room was private with an adjoining bath, and most of all, was clean, homey, and inexpensive. Weatherbury was a stately Kentucky farmhouse. So that was the name of the bed and breakfast, Weatherbury?
21 minutes.
Weatherbury?
Yeah.
Was a stately Kentucky farmhouse dating back as far as 1740. Wow, that was an old building.
Yeah. It was well kept. Well kept. Yeah. Well kept.
It's 300 years old now. And was magnificently furnished with 18th century furniture. I was glad Anna suggested it, and it rounded out an already beautiful day. Driving back to town, I sat close to Ann, put my arm about her as she drove. I especially took delight in watching her shift the gears. As she did each time, her skirt would go up above her knees, displaying a beautiful pair of legs. What kind of shift was it? Was it on the floor or on the steering wheel?
It was on the floor.
Wow. She would then try to pull her skirt back below her knees, at the same time control her shifting. She knew I was to take great delight in watching her go through the various movements as she shifted, and I believe she became a little bit flustered when she ground one of the gears.
Yeah.
grinding those gears. Wow. I smiled at her, gently pulled her closer to me, and kissed her on the cheek. I could not see her total reaction, as it was too dark in the car, but I sensed that it was favorable. I felt a little awkward sitting while she driving and remarked to her my feelings. She immediately asked if I wanted to drive. In the rest of your life, when you were out of the service, did you normally let the lady drive, or did you drive the cars?
Well, if I was driving, I would drive, yeah.
So you wouldn't sit after you got out of the service?
Yeah.
The reason why you did this, because it wasn't your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But normally you'd be the driver, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We were both more at ease with one another, and soon we were joking and laughing about little events that occurred when we first met. I mentioned that it was fate that we had meet, and I got lost and came down the street where she lived. Yeah, it was just fate. Serendipity. She agreed and felt that we had a great deal in common with one another. She sensed that minute I asked her the directions to the bus station and how I reacted when Marv started to giggle. I chuckled at her insight, bent over as she drove, and kissed her once again on the cheek. Wow. And asked if I liked to roller skate. Did you like to roller skate?
Yeah.
Were you any good at it?
No.
Were you good at ice skating?
Ice skating, yeah.
And asked if I would like to go roller skating. I stated that I have skated several times, but was not good at it.
You're welcome.
She smiled and said she was not either. We're winding down the fourth chapter for the second time. And decided we would go roller skating. Do you remember going roller skating?
Roller skating, yeah.
How'd she do?
Well, she did good. I didn't do so good.
Were you flopping all over the place?
I didn't follow her, as I know, but
The place was called the Kentucky Bluegrass Roller Ring, located on the East Parish Avenue, a short distance from the distillery I had visited. The rink was crowded and the music was loud, right?
yeah.
And I rather enjoyed lacing and skates since I could get to touch her shapely ankles. Was there many GI skating?
There?
No, at that roller rink. Do you remember any GI skating?
No, there was not too many GIs there,
So
no.
you're basically the only one.
Yeah,
in
but I was in
uniform.
uniform, too.
Wow. You must have stood out.
Yeah.
She was an excellent skater, and her body movements were graceful and elegant. I enjoyed skating with her, holding her around the waist and grasping her hands. The music was too loud to do much talking, so we just skated, basking in sheer delight of holding one another. It was only when we retired to the lobby for some refreshments that we could really talk, and I could enjoy listening to her as she sat with her legs crossed. We must have skated for several hours as my ears were ringing from the loud music. Do you remember those loud musics?
Yeah.
Wow. I think they still do that today.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looked enticing with her face flushed from the prolonged skating and her hair gleaming from the warmth she had generated. So, that was the end of chapter 4. Tomorrow we're going to get on to chapter 5, getting to know you. Do you feel up to answering any text messages?
Yeah.
By the way, Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich believes in the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift, right?
Right.
Today is a gift. Well, as usual, we get many text messages for you daily. But let me ask you one of the first questions, and many people don't know this because they might be first-time listeners. The big question is, how much is the book and where do I buy it?
You can't buy it. It's not for sale.
The book was not written about money, no way, shape, or form. Mr. Jeckovich has plenty of money, and he certainly does not need your money. And as a result, the book, 849 pages, was written for the sole purpose of getting youngsters or younger people good examples to have a nice and easy life, a better life, an easier life, a family life, a wholesome life, a productive life. Mr. Jeckovich has many, many good examples in his book. And if you ever want to read his book, or hear his book I should say, there's over 450 different days starting from chapter 1, going to the last chapter on page 849.
14.
And then starting all over again. So if you just follow the YouTube, you could hear all his good words he has to say. And they're great words, by the way. There's a lot of good things to know. Some of the statements in the book are summarized in this way about the truths in life. Silence is more powerful than trying to prove your point.
Yeah.
How about the silence of your mother to the father? When your mother silenced your father, wasn't that powerful?
Yeah.
And then the first one that spoke would probably lose the
You
argument.
talked to me, I was the interpreter.
You were the middle guy. When trust is broken, sorry means nothing.
Yeah.
When you break that trust, sorry means nothing. It's just a damn word. Control your actions. Learn to react less. Meaning, don't be emotional.
Yeah.
Don't be on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Every time someone says something, you want to jump on Facebook and tell your side of the story.
Yeah.
Don't do it. When you're honest, you lose people who don't deserve you. So that's a good point. When you're honest, you lose people that don't deserve you. And you see a lot of that taken on when a man marries a lady, and a lady is nothing but pure hell, a real bad person. And what's the first thing she tries to do? She tries to separate you from your family.
Yeah.
Because the family will say, what the hell are you doing with someone like that? And vice versa. Vice versa. When a lady marries a man, and if she's not an honorable person, and certainly a lot of Mr. Jeckovich's daughter-in-laws are not honorable at all, she'll try to separate the man from her family so the family doesn't try to talk some sense into the guy and say, what in the hell are you doing with this loser? This loser you're with is a type of person, if you were on life support, she would unplug you for her simply to plug in her cell phone to charge it. And so they try to separate. This has been going on since the beginning of time, but it's elaborated in the book. And little lessons go on a little bit more. One beautiful heart is worth more than beautiful faces. So hearts stand out more than faces.
Yeah.
If you have a good heart. How about your wife of 69 years? Did she have a good heart?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And here's another thing a lot of people are guilty of. Stop overthinking. You can't control everything. Just let it be. A lot of people overthink everything to death. They can't make a decision. And it usually turns out to be the wrong one. Small circle, private life, clear mind, happy heart, peaceful life. A small circle. You don't need 1 million people in your life because it simply won't work. It simply won't work. And many of Mr. Jeckovich's decisions were based on prudence. Prudence is very, very important to make decisions. And there's a lot of good examples on prudence in Mr. Jeckovich's book, and that's how you make good decisions, by prudence. And I'll pull up those examples maybe tomorrow, because my notes are somewhat scattered.
You got a cold?
No, but prudence is a very important thing. And then it's very important. The fifth commandment is honor your mother and father. And if you don't honor your mother and father, you broke the fifth commandment and now you got a mortal sin. In the book it explains a little bit of ways on how to honor your mother and father. Call them regularly. Visit often. Listen to them. Help them with chores. Cook their favorite meals. Take them to their appointments. Celebrate special occasions with them. Surprise them with gifts. Encourage their hobbies. Teach them technology, which means helping them if they have trouble with a cell phone or a laptop. Teach them with the technology. Respect their opinions. Ensure their health. Plan family outings. Be patient and understanding. Show physical affection. Support them financially. Protect them. Write them letters or notes. Apologize when needed. And pray and wish for their well-being. And also in the book it says, when your parents get in the room, you stand up for respect. You stand up when your parents enter the room. And never call your parents by their first name. Did you ever call your mother and father by their first name?
No.
You don't do it. And if your parents have a favorite chair, simply don't sit in it. Don't sit in it. But stand up. Don't sit in their favorite chair. And don't call them by first names. And all these little things are all gathered up in a book, which is very interesting.
8 minutes. And something came in for him from a family, the Weber family out of, where is it, Green Bay, Wisconsin. And
Okay,
they know he's a veteran, and they thought he would love to.
Do you know the Weather family from Green Bay, Wisconsin?
No.
Okay, let me look at this second. Maybe I can get a little bit more info
I
on it.
don't have it right there with me.
Okay, the Weather family from Green Bay. Are they regular listeners?
Yeah, the regular listeners,
Okay, the Weather family.
and they get sent him,
Can I see what came in?
yeah. Okay.
This is from the Weather family?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go, Mr. Jeckovich. Just came in from the Weather family. Green Bay, Wisconsin, the regular
yeah.
listeners.
Try it out.
Why don't you put it on for them so they'll get a chance to see it, see the gift. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Gotta loosen it up. Let me loosen
Man,
it
you
up.
got a big head.
Let me loosen
8
it up.
3/4. Big head, big brains.
Yeah.
Big head, big brains.
Okay, try that now.
Try that on, Mr. Jeckovich.
That's a little better.
That's okay, yeah.
Okay,
Here,
try
put
on the
this-
glasses too. I'm gonna get a picture to send them.
You got the glasses
Yeah,
too?
wear the glasses. You got your aviator glasses. He was in the Korean War. He was not old enough to be in World War II. Look up, Mr. Jeckovich. Give us a little wave for the Weather family. Beautiful. And what else? We have more?
This is a cape. Goes-
All right, put it on, Mr. Jeckovich. I'll photograph them.
What's that?
It's a
A
cape.
cape.
A cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, you know, you
Where's
talked
this
about
from?
parades, they want you to wear a cape for the parade.
Yeah,
Okay, let
that's
me-
nice.
Now, where's this from?
The Weather family, Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's a nice note that we sent them.
I'll send him a note.
Don't tie it, I got something to tie it.
I'll
Okay,
try it when we're
look
done.
up, look up, Mr. Jeckovich.
There we go.
Let's get a nice shot. Hey, give me a wave. Okay. Let's leave it out to the rest of the reading. It's only a few minutes left. You look very nice.
Yeah.
5
You-
minutes left.
How many, 5 minutes? Okay, that's the Weather family, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Send them a nice letter, and I'll text them the pictures we just took.
Yeah.
Okay, you feel up to asking, you can wear it during the reading, it's only a few more minutes. It's only a few more minutes, Mr. Jeckovich. You look very attractive. And plus, the gift giver would certainly like to see you
Yeah,
wearing
here
it.
we go. Here we go,
They'd
John.
like to see you wearing it.
There we go. Let me loosen it up a little bit more. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You up to answering any questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Jeckovich, During World War II, did you have a compass on your possession at all times?
No.
Did you know how to use a compass?
Oh, yeah.
You had compass training?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. How would you handle negative influences in your life?
Negative?
Negative influences in your life.
Try to find out what they were getting at. Try to agree with it or not to agree with them.
I see. How did your parents meet?
How'd they meet?
Yeah.
They didn't meet overseas. They met over here.
So your mother came from Poland
And my father from Russia.
and Russia, and the hot spot was Niagara Falls, New York.
Yeah.
All the Italians, the Polish, and the Greeks would.
They all migrated there.
Yeah, and they took care of their property really, really well. And so they met afterwards, what, maybe at a church function or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't look like that now.
How does it look now?
Terrible.
So you had the best of times there, because it was very nice when you lived there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, how do you cope, being that you're 100 years old, you've seen a lot of death during the war, you see a lot of death because of your age, you've been around forever, 100 years. How do you cope with the loss of death, or death?
Well, depending who it is.
But how do you generally cope?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever slept outdoors?
Then what?
Have you ever slept outdoors?
Oh, yeah, camping outside.
How about during World War II?
Yeah, we slept in the foxholes over there, yeah.
Every night was outdoors.
Yeah.
Except the one time, you guys found a barn.
Found the barn, yeah, withdrawing it, yeah.
Tell us how that worked with
Well, who?
Patton.
Patton picked it up, packed the Jeep that posted hide. He come in and found us and get your ass out and get out on the checkpoint. Get out. It was pouring rain out there, 3 o'clock.
What time was this at?
3 o'clock in the morning.
And he said, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Get down to the next checkpoint. And the reason why, because your buddy Post didn't hide the Jeep well enough,
Yeah.
right? Wow. That's interesting. Wow, you had four or five girlfriends during World War II, Mr. Jeckovich. Have you ever broken somebody's heart?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Well, the one girl, Ann Mahaney, that was one from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
You said, after the war's ended, I'm going to look you up. Unfortunately, it took a little bit longer. 80 long years later, Mr. Jeckovich called Ann Mahaney. She was still living in Owensboro, Kentucky, and she answered the phone.
She answered the phone, yeah.
How'd that conversation go?
Well, she was real feeble, and I couldn't understand her half the time.
So a big difference when she was 20.
Yeah, well, I could understand.
Yeah, I can understand too. And then what actions did you take?
I took her picture off and put my mother up there.
Yeah. Now we're getting back to the book, Their Mother's Sons. After he spoke to Ann Mahaney, that her picture sat in was posted on his office wall for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. After he talked to her, he removed it. The wall was all yellowed. And then you put the picture of your mother up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put her picture in the
your mother.
towels.
But isn't it interesting you actually called her and she answered the phone 80 years later?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess that generation back then wasn't as transient.
Yeah.
Today, everyone moves.
She must have been living alone, too.
Yeah. Today, everyone moves every couple months.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, as a boy, did you know any magic tricks?
Any what?
Magic tricks.
Magic trips?
Did you know any magic tricks as a boy?
No.
Wow. What are some of the things you built by hand before you went into the war?
Well, I built a dollhouse for Sally, Wright's daughter.
Right. So you built a lot of things mostly from wood.
Yeah, they're from wood, yeah.
20 seconds.
How many?
20.
When you were a boy, did you ever get involved in archery?
Archery?
Yeah.
No, I never did archery. There was an archery range right in the High Park there.
Was there?
Yeah.
But you never had any interest?
No.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
6 seconds.
Did your brothers get involved in archery?
Well, I don't think so. No, Looky wouldn't.